Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Dear Venerable Sangha Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekly Buddhist news in English on Phật Sự Online channel. There are 7 major news of the week. Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu Ordination SIMA of Huệ Đăng of Buddhist years 2564 inaugurated. Lào Cai National Science Symposium 2020 inaugurated. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam Buddhist University celebrates Vietnamese Teachers' Day. Thailand's Consul General meets with editorial board of Buddhist cultural magazines. Ho Chi Minh City, graduation ceremony of senior cleric lecturers of the 9th course 2017 to 2020 and schooling year opens for the 11th course. Cần Thơ, GIÁC Nguyên Pagoda organized one-day retreat with the theme of Why Don't You Look Back? Charity activities of provincials and cities Buddhisms. The following are the news in details. On the morning of 24th of November 2020, at Đại Tòng Lâm Patriarch Temple, Phú Mỹ Town, the Administrative Board of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu Province, solemnly held the opening of Huệ Đăng Ordination SIMA of Buddhist year 2564.
In witness, it was honored to have Most Venerable Thích Đức Nghiệp, Most Venerable Thích Trí Tịnh, Co-Vice Deputy Dharma Master of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân, Chairman of the Administrative Council of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Most Venerable Thích Viên Minh, Permanent Member of the Buddhist Council of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, Vice Chairman and Secretary General of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Head of the Central Buddhist International Commission, Most Venerable Thích Quảng Hiển, Head of the Organizing Committee of the Huệ Đăng Ordination SIMA, and the religious leaders of the Council of Patrons, the provincial sections of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, the Venerable of the provinces, the abbots of pagodas and monasteries from provinces and elsewhere. Attending the meeting there were leaders of the nuns, together with the chief nuns, and nuns in the council of 10 female examiners. In the opening remarks, Most Venerable Thích Quảng Hiển reported that there were 600 friaries, monasteries, and more than 4,000 residential monks and nuns. The first ordination SIMA was opened in 1993, and now it is the 10th Great Ordination SIMA, organized by the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha. The Great Ordination SIMA, witnessed by highly virtuous Sangha dignitaries who had imparted the Dharma precept, is a great triumphant grace. The Council of 10 Examiners, led by the elderly Most Venerable Thích Trí Quảng, BQ leader, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Pháp, the Sramanera monk leader, Most Venerable Thích Viên Minh, Theravada BQ leader, Most Venerable Thích Thiện Tâm, Theravada BQ leader. The Council of 10 Examiner was led by Master Nun Thích Nữ Như Thanh, leader of the Theravada Bhikshuni, Senior Nun Thích Nữ Như Từ, the Sikher man leader, Senior Nun Thích Nữ Như Như, the Samari leader venerable. Venerable Thích Thiện Thuận provided a biography of Thanh Kế Huệ Đăng. Patriarch Huệ Đăng was likened to a lamp of wisdom for generations of monks to follow and diligently study. Most Venerable Thích Thiện Nhân praised the merit of the dignitaries of the Administrative Board, the Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha, for organizing the Great Ordination SIMA in a spirit of economical thrift, but no less solemnity in the difficult context due to the COVID-19 pandemic and recent floods in the central region. At the same time, the Most Venerable encouraged the disciples who need to diligently and sincerely practice and learn Buddha's precepts to inherit and promote strong virtues, the righteous monastic way, and contribute to promoting the Dharma for the benefit of sentient beings. Good religion, good life, as solemn as the Sangha is always.
On the morning of 22nd of November 2020, the opening ceremony of a scientific symposium with the theme Buddhism in the View of Social Security for Ordinary People in the Period of Development and International Integrations was held by the Buddhist Guide sections of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha solemnly at the Conference Center of Lao Cai Province.
In witness of the symposium, it was honored to have Dr. Most Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiễu, Standing Vice Chairman of the Administrative Council, Vice Head of the Standing Committee of the Monks' Affairs Section, Dr. Thích Gia Quang, Vice Chairman of the Administrative Council, Head of Information and Communication Department, Most Venerable Thích Huệ Thông, Deputy General Secretary of the Administrative Council, Chief of Office 2 of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, Dr. Most Venerable Thích Thanh Đạt, Standing Member of the Administrative Council, Chairman of Science Council of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Hanoi, Most Venerable Thích Nguyên Quang, Member of Administrative Council, Vice Head of the Buddhist Guide Section. The delegation leader were Dr. Venerable Thích Đức Thiện, Vice Chairman and General Secretary of the Administrative Council of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, together with Reverend monks and nuns. The attendants also comprised the government leaders from central to local levels, scientists from the sections, the central institutes, scholars, and Buddhists from location near and far. Venerable Thích Phước Nghiêm delivered his opening speech and emphasized, in the 8th term, from 2017 to 2022, the Central Committee for Buddhist Guide has actively worked and organized the Buddhist events in a diverse and practical way to achieve the goals which has been specified in the resolution of the 8th Congress of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha with 9 important contents. The symposiums aim to research, discuss, and propose the resolutions around the theme Buddhism in view of social security for ordinary people in the period of development and international integration. In a solemn atmosphere, the entire congregation listened to Dr. Most Venerable Thích Gia Quang, who read the congratulatory letter to the symposium from the Dharma Master of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, and the comments from the representatives of the central and local authorities. In his blessing words, Most Venerable Thích Thanh Nhiễu praised the Central Committee of the Buddhist Guide and the Provincial Administrative Board and the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha for coordinating to organize this symposium. The Most Venerable also said that the social security activities up to now had always been associated with the Buddhist activities. In particular, during the recent storm and flood in the central region, the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha promptly called and organized many relief teams to visit and aid the disadvantaged people of the central region. Many monks and nuns and Buddhists across the country also organized relief teams to go towards the central region. The Most Venerable hoped that this symposium would help to find out direction and practical solution for social security work to be more and more effective, suitable for today's times.
Emerged in the whole country atmosphere toward Vietnamese Teachers' Day on the morning of the 20th of November 2020 at the Vietnam Buddhist University, Campus 2 in Ho Chi Minh City. The monks and nuns of the classes solemnly held a ceremony to pay tribute to the Vietnamese Teachers' Day in order to show the gratitude, appreciativeness to the Master who have been hard at work in harboring and mentoring the generations of monks, nuns of the Vietnam Buddhist University on the wake of monkhood to study Buddhism.
In witness, it was honored to have Most Venerable Thích Trí Quảng, rectors of Vietnam Buddhist University in Ho Chi Minh City, together with vice-rectors of the university and the reverend professor, lecturers of faculties, and more than 1,000 monks and nuns who were novice trainees of the course. Venerable Thích Giác Hoàng, Vice Secretary General and Chaps of the Office of the University, announced a decision to approve the staff compositions of the Training Management Board of Vietnam Buddhist University in Ho Chi Minh City for the term 2017-2022. Next, the Venerable Monks of the Training Management Board offered his words of congratulation to the Most Venerable Rector, responding with him good health, peace of mind, and enlightenment to continue leading the generations of monks and nuns to strive ceaselessly with the missions of growing the people, cultivating the wisdom, and planting the morality. In his blessing word, Most Venerable Thích Trí Quảng talked about the Buddha's teaching to the monks and nuns of the classes. The Buddha said that without good teachers and kind friends guiding the way for us, we cannot become holy angels. Without the grace of the three jewels, we cannot escape samsara. Therefore, it's fortunate for us to have Buddha Sakyamuni who come down to earth. Since then, there has been Buddhism in the world. On the occasions of Vietnamese Teacher Days, the monks and nuns pay tribute to their teachers. The Most Venerable also prayed that the monks and nuns would continue what the ancestors have transmitted and continue to uphold the Buddha Dharma light shining forever in their life.
On the morning of the 25th of November 2020, His Excellency Abhirat Sugandabiram, Consul General of Thailand in Ho Chi Minh City, had a friendly meeting with the venerables of the editorial board of Buddhist culture magazines at the editorial office located at RIA-VUNG Monastery, Ho Chi Minh City.
Accompanying the Consul General were Associate Professor Dr. Phan Thị Hồng Xuân, President of the Southeast Asian Friendship Association in Ho Chi Minh City, the clerk and staff of the Thai Consulate. Receiving the delegation, there were Venerable Thích Phước Nguyên, Standing Member of the Administrative Council, Vice Head of the Office too, Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn, Permanent Deputy Editor-in-Chief and General Secretary of the Newsroom, Venerable Thích Phước Nghiêm, Member of the Editorial Board, Venerable Thích Minh Ân, Deputy Secretary cum Newsroom Manager. Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn delivered a speech, and he appreciated the affection of the Consul General, who visited the editorial board. That confirms the profound concern of the Thai Consulate General to the Buddhist Sangha in general and Buddhist cultural realm in particular. On this occasion, the Venerable also introduced the process of formation and development of the journal over the past 16 years, having published 356 issues up to now, including printed and electronic magazines. Venerable Permanent Deputy Editor-in-Chief said, "The Buddhist Culture magazine is the mouthpiece of the Buddhist Sangha. The magazine introduces the work of researchers on ideas, culture, art, philosophy of Buddhism in general and Vietnamese Buddhism in particular. There are also case studies on religious architectural works, Buddhist monuments at home and abroad to promote the proud beauty of Vietnamese Buddhist culture, to contribute to enriching the national cultural treasure of Vietnam." During an intimate visit, the Consul General recalled the establishment of Vietnamese Buddhism in Thailand over the past 100 years. Typically, the An Nam sect with more than 30 temples built in the northeast of Thailand. He also affirmed that the similarities of Buddhism of the two countries have promoted the cohesion and development of the friendship of the two peoples. Through watching and being introduced to the Buddhist Culture magazine by the Friendship Association, he paid a visit out of his concern for creating a bridge to facilitate the cultural exchange between the two nations of Vietnam and Thailand. The Consul General also wanted articles on Thai Buddhism culture and heritage to be published in the Buddhist Culture magazine in the coming time. The Journal of Buddhist Culture also created an opportunity for the consulate staff to learn more about Vietnamese Buddhist culture and the activities of Vietnamese Buddhism.
In implementing the program of Buddhist activities for the 8th term of Dharma enactment sections with long-term cleric lecturer training courses to be organized in order to promptly meet the development of the country, the society, and especially the Dharma on the 24th of November 2020 at Hoa Khánh Pagoda, Ho Chi Minh City. The graduation ceremony of senior, intermediate lecturers class and the 9th course took place, and so did the opening ceremony of the 11th course.
Attending the ceremony, there were Most Venerable Thích Như Niệm, patron of the Administrative Council of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Ho Chi Minh City, Most Venerable Thích Bảo Nghiêm, head of the Dharma enactment section, Most Venerable Thích Tấn Đạt, head of Advanced Intermediate Lecturer Training, Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn, Vice Head, cum Chief Secretary of Dharma Enactment Section, Standing Deputy Editor-in-Chief of Buddha Culture Magazine, Venerable Thích Phước Nghiêm, Vice Chairman of the Organizing Committee, with religious dignitaries and monks and nuns among the attendants. On the guest side, there was Associate Professor Dr. Phan Thị Hồng Xuân, Chairwoman of Vietnam Southeast Asia Friendship Association of Ho Chi Minh City, Head of Urban Department, University of Social Sciences and Humanities, Dr. Lê Minh Chi, Apollos University. In a solemn atmosphere, Most Venerable Thích Tấn Đạt gave the opening speech at the ceremony, and Venerable Thích Minh Nhẫn gave the opening speech. To follow the scheduled program, the Certificate of Merit from Dharma Enactment section was awarded to the Advanced and Intermediate Lecturer Training Faculty and the individuals with many achievements and dedication to the teaching of lecturers. Passing the blessing words, Elder Most Venerable Thích Như Niệm expressed his gratitude to the Faculty of Dharma Teaching and Lecturer Training, which has diligently trained so many talented monks to contribute to the cause of propagating the Dharma, benefiting the living of the Buddhist Sangha nowadays. Most Venerable reminded the monks and nuns to continue to promote their imparted knowledge as a means in their spiritual practice. Also at the ceremony, Dr. Most Venerable Thích Tấn Đạt was awarded an honorary professor degree by representatives of Apollos University for his many contributions to the Buddhist Sangha training career. The organizing committee awarded 77 diplomas to monks and nuns who successfully completed the training program of intermediate level lecturers. Venerable Thích Phước Nghiêm expressed his thanks to the Buddhist Sangha leaders and gave the closing speech at the end of the ceremony.
In order to create the relaxing atmosphere which conveys the meaning of humanity and education to Buddhist teenagers, on the 22nd of November 2020 at GIÁC Pagoda, Cần City, it was organized a one-day retreat with the theme Why Don't We Look Back, with the participations of more than 300 practitioners from Cần City and neighboring provinces.
The board of organizers has provided preferable conditions to the young people to have opportunities to experience, practice, and return to the genuine Buddhism, study the demeanors, improve the knowledge, understand the history and life of the Buddha, to create preferable conditions for the young generation to explore the culture and activities in monastic places. Venerable Abbot has delivered Dharma sharing with the theme, Why Don't We Look Back? And gently reminded the teenagers to be grateful to teachers for having been teaching them to become good citizens. Practicing teenagers were divided into 10 groups. Each group attended a competition of flower arranging, painting, and wore bulletin news to show their gratitude and praising the hardship of parents and teachers. Early in the afternoon, the board of organizers has appealed Nun Thích Nữ Nghiêm Thật, Vice Head of Department of the Buddhist Youth of Cần City, to deliver Dharma sharing to the participants. Nun Thích Nữ Nghiêm Thật has retold some interesting stories, which were very practical and convey basic Dharma lessons. Nun also held the Ask and Answer session to create a helpful playground to understand Buddha's teachings attractively, vividly, and helpfully. By the end of the day, participants were guided by the dignitaries from the board of organizers to play folk games to connect participants and promote the solidarity and integration.
Recently, the social charity performances of monks and nuns, Buddhists from all over the country, continues to direct to the central region to support the people from both during and after the devastating storm and flood. Here's the update of the week on Buddhist charity and volunteerism in provinces.
The Central Culture sections of Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha, monks, nuns, and Buddhists depart for the central region in the afternoons of November 20, 2020 to give more than 300 gifts to the country folks. The relief team will present in Quảng Trị province on the mornings of November 21, 2020 and were brought to the places where people and Buddhists had suffered the disaster in Hướng Hóa district to give 180 gifts to the country folk. This is where the Paco and Vân Kiều ethnic people live in very difficult circumstances. In the afternoon, the relief team gave 150 gifts to the ethnic people in the hamlet and villages of Mang Song, Hum Sa Ro, and Drum Sa Tung. A gift portion include blanket, mosquito net, clothing, cash, and other essentials. The Central Culture Sections of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha and the Administration Boards of Thừa Thiên Huế Province held a requiem ritual on the Đứng River on November 22, 2020 to pray for officials, soldiers, and people who have died in the last severe storm and flood in Central Region. The ritual ceremony was solemnly performed, throwing flowers and releasing the offering fish according to the Buddhist rite. In witness of the conducting monk Most Venerable Thích Hải Ấn, member of Administration Council, rectors of Vietnam Buddhist University in Huế, five heads of the Central Culture Sections of Vietnam Buddhist Sangha in Huế, heads of the Provincial Buddhist Section. On the occasion, the team also gave 270 gifts to people in different circumstances. Each gift include clothes, blanket, and cash. Bà Rịa, Vũng Tàu. In the framework of the Great Ordination SIMA of Huế Đăng in Buddhist year 2564 on the mornings of November 23, 2020 at Đại Tòng Lâm Pagoda, the organizing committee gave 300 gifts to people in difficult circumstances in Phú Mỹ town, each worth 400,000 Vietnam đồng, containing cash, rice, noodle, blanket, and accessories. The total funding for the charities is 120 million Vietnam đồng. Đắk Lắk. In the spirit of selfless compassion of the Buddhism, appetite to share the griefs and loss of people in the Central Region who are facing natural disasters, on November 24, 2020, the charity team led by Venerable Thích Đạo Quang by heads of the standing sections of Administration Boards Kumaga District, the abbots of Linh Phong Pagoda, Đắk Lắk Province, and the sponsor handed over 350 gifts to the people in Quảng Nam Province. It gives a worth 500,000 Vietnam đồng, containing the necessity and cash. The total value is nearly 200 million Vietnam đồng. The relief team continued to hand over 400 gifts to people in Sơn Công Village, Lại Bằng Village, Thừa Thiên Huế Province, and the Blind Associations of Quảng Trị Province on November 25, 2020. It gives portions worth 500,000 Vietnam đồng, containing necessary and cash. To stimulate the charity trip to the central provinces, the relief team is reported to hand over nearly 1 billion Vietnam đồng to the people.
Venerable monks and nuns, Buddhist ladies and gentlemen, the last news has signed off this weekly newsreel. Thank you for your attention and following. Goodbye and see you in the next program on PSOTV channel. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha.